It's not a usual occurrence to have a finance bill withdrawn, and it's even not a daily activity to have the deputy president impeached. It also is not a usual thing to see a generation that is nonchalant about political matters suddenly revolt and rise to the occasion. The young people of most nations, they're usually about making their lives work and getting to make a living, just a decent life, and not to be involved in political matters. But in the Kenya Kwanza regime, we have seen this particular group of people become interested and actively involved in political matters. Again, it's only in the Kenya Kwanza regime that we get to have a new blaze to extinguish every day. If it's not a Dani, it's an impeachment. If it's not a conflict of interest bill, it's a bill to increase the presidential term. If it's not SHIF, it's IMF. If it's not the finance bill, it's a tourist president. So it's almost guaranteed that we will always have something to worry about in this regime, the Kenya Kwanza regime. So I am here seated and wondering, what fire will we be putting out after the deputy president impeachment conundrum is over? So how did we get here? I believe that everyone has a pain threshold, and every Kenya has a patience threshold. And no matter how long you delay something, at some point it will get here. Also, no matter how long you delay a wave, it will eventually pass. It will eventually burst, and you can only hope and pray that every Kenyan will be able or will have learned how to swim. So I personally believe that Kenyans are very hardworking people, and I believe that the one thing that people really worry about, and the thing that makes them know whether a government is working, is how comfortable they are. But as for Kenya Kwanza, this is a regime and a government that has paralyzed Kenyans. It is that one regime that has betrayed its people in great ways, and it always finds new ways to betray us every other day. I see the Kenya Kwanza has, and I feel like it has poked everyone. It has poked children, it has poked old people, the rich people, the vulnerable communities. No one has been safe with the Kenya Kwanza regime. And it has denied us that the things that we once held very dear to us. We don't want to be begging to be able to live. We don't want to have our pockets squeezed every day without any particular thing or aspect to show for us. So in the here that we are talking about, I believe, as we ask how we got here, I see that, or I believe that the applicability of our constitution has been tested to very great extremes. Also, our economic policies have been tested on how far they can stretch. How far can we collect, for example, taxes through the finance bill? And this is how we got here, in my opinion, because we have stretched things and factors that we look up to, or the factors that anchor us as a community or as a nation. So I think we got here because the three arms of the government mixed their roles. We are here because the people's representatives have become the president's representative, and Kenyans were left to look out for themselves with no particular or with no formal power. We can only fight for ourselves through by going to the streets or by exercising the constitution on sovereignty of the people and the power of the people. So everything has become political. The economic factors have become political, whether it's debt through the IMF, whether it's debt in Kenya or the domestic debt that we get to borrow, the government gets to borrow. Everything has become political, including people's lives. So it is a political card, whether people live, whether people are protected, whether people get to afford their living or their basic needs. It has become political. So while on one end, the citizenry wants a working country, our representatives want to appeal to the executive. And this executive wants to own Kenya. So I believe it is the wrong leadership that has brought us here, and it has trickled down to economic issues, economic policies, that when we have a very good leader in opposition, and then they get to join the government, everything, even the worst of deals, start looking very attractive and start looking that they are looking like they will work for the country. In terms of economy, I believe that economically, or the economy is training, because we have mixed roles. We have made everything a political card. I know things, everything has a political aspect of it, but things that should be largely economic have been mixed with political aspects.